What's going on, everybody? The BetSided crew is here for a extra edition of Bet and Breakfast today. Ben Heisler with Iain MacMillan, Donnavan, Smoot, and Wallach. Thursday Night Football tonight is going to be a fairly intriguing game. I don't know if you guys see it the same way, but you have the 49ers on the road at Tennessee. 49ers are hot. They're 3-point favorites against the Titans. This line actually moved from 3.5 from where it first opened on Thursday Night Football. But we've got plenty of analysis over at BetSided and also on Bet and Breakfast earlier on the game. Where I am curious to get your guys' opinion is on the futures. Two of these teams could make a fairly compelling argument as a dark horse team headed down the stretch for both the AFC and the NFC, as well as for the Super Bowl. The Titans right now are plus 2,000 over at WinBet, 20-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. 49ers at 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. So plus 3,000 over there. Reed, I will start with you. If you had to pick one of these two teams as a dark horse Super Bowl pick, which team would you choose?
I'll take San Francisco. I think that this might be the sleeping giant of the league. I mean, the offense has really emerged. I know everyone talks about Jimmy G. Is he long for San Francisco? Trey Lance, all that. The Niners have the third best offense in EPA per play since week 9. So this has been an elite unit, especially with Deebo Samuel healthy now. George Kittle's been like the ultimate safety valve. It seems like he's bringing in every pass. So the offense has been made easy for Jimmy G. And we've seen this team make a Super Bowl run before. So why can't they do it again? The one caveat I have is the secondary. Big issue for San Francisco. Their defense is still middle of the pack, especially in dropback per EPA per dropback. So their game is going to have to be ball control. They're going to have to, like, if they're playing Green Bay on the road, they're going to have to maintain the clock, run the ball, which they're adept at doing, and keep Aaron Rodgers and the likes off the field. But with Nick Bosa playing elite ball, pressuring the quarterback, why can't San Francisco make a run in a wide open NFC?
All right, I'm not sure as to what Donovan's going to say. I have a feeling, Iain, that the team that you claim to be fraudulent is probably not the team you're backing in Super Bowl odds. So make your case for San Francisco.
Yeah, one team I've been calling fraudulent for the entire season. The other team I wrote an article this week for BetSided saying they were good Super Bowl bets. So, yeah, I got to back the 49ers. The Titans stink, especially with Derrick Henry out of the lineup. Tannehill gets worse when Derrick Henry's out of the lineup, and that's kind of been proven over the last few weeks because if Derrick Henry's not in the lineup, opposing defenses don't need to stack the box. They don't need to focus on trying to stop the run game, so they can, change up their schemes to try to stop Ryan Tannehill, and it's been working. He's been terrible the last few games. I think 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions since Derrick Henry's been hurt, I believe, if that's correct. It might be a couple numbers off there, but I think that's what it is. And their offense is just like ranking near the bottom of the NFL in yards per play. I think only 4.5 yards per play over the last 3 games. So the Titans stink. Got to back the 49ers.
Titans stink, yet here they are, one of the top teams still in the AFC. I might have some thoughts against that, but Donnavan, give me a play. Are you going on the 49ers as a Super Bowl dark horse pick, or are you going with Tennessee?
I'm gonna be boring here. I'm gonna agree with Reed and with Iain. I just think that I know, but historically we've seen if you can get hot late at the end of the season and get some momentum going into the playoffs, you can really make some noise. And San Francisco is doing exactly that. They've covered in 6 of the last 8. They've won 6 of the last 8. And like we said, offensively everything is coming together. Deebo Samuel is a Swiss Army knife. They use him everywhere. George Kittle is a great piece. And I think like it's weird because over this Kyle Shanahan era, they've always just had a back, but it doesn't matter who the person running the ball is. They can run the ball effectively. And that, Kyle Shanahan's scheme is really good. And so I'm also with Iain. I've been calling the Titans frauds with him. And so I can't trust them. And if Derrick Henry does come back, I think the earliest he can come back is week 18. How much do we trust that foot, right? How healthy is he going to be right off? Is he going to come back and instantly run for 200 yards? I don't think so. So I would take San Francisco here.
All right. So all of you guys have made fairly compelling arguments on the 49ers side. I'm going to see if I can try and convince you, maybe sway you a little bit to consider Tennessee. Think about the dominant wins they've had. I understand that's with Derrick Henry, but we're also talking about the possibility of Henry coming back in week 18, which, by the way, would be against the Houston Texans. I can't think of a better scenario to work Derrick Henry back in the lineup against that defense to be able to get him into nice workflow heading into the postseason, where all of a sudden their offense is going to kick off. They've put up 30-plus points against Buffalo, the Colts, 28 against the Rams, 27 against the Chiefs so far this year. And they did a couple of those games without Derrick Henry in the lineup. Mike Vrabel's a really good coach, especially in the postseason, where he's understood what they do effectively on offense. And then on the defensive side, they're the number 2 team in the NFL against the run. So we all talk about what the Titans do effectively when it comes to running the football in the postseason. We're seeing a little bit more of it from Deontay Foreman, but they also stop it on the other side. They've gotten a ton of pressure on the quarterback this year. Secondary is still a little bit of a mess, but most of these teams are really banged up heading into the postseason anyway. Having Derrick Henry back is the catalyst for this team. If you have a healthy A.J. Brown, which we'll find out on Thursday night, possibly, I'm not going to hold my breath, a healthy Julio Jones and a healthy Derrick Henry, the confidence for Ryan Tannehill goes sky high. They're able to run play action. And with a healthy and better defense than they've had in years past, I do expect them to be able to be a team that can make a bit of a run, but everything needs to line up at least for them to be healthy. So it's 1 against 3. Everyone's going with the better odds for the 49ers. They've also been playing much better football as of late. Completely understand it, but I wouldn't rule out this Tennessee Titans team just yet. Thanks so much for watching this special edition of Bet and Breakfast. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode coming up on Monday. For Reed, for Donnavan, for Ian, I'm Ben. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out all the great work, by the way, by going to fansided.com/betsided.